आमिर जी, किरण जी, सर्वोच्च न्यायालय के परिवार में हर एक जो हमारे सदस्य हैं यहाँ पर, उनकी ओर से मैं आपको तहे दिल से आपका शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ। It's been a wonderful evening for us. It's been a memorable evening for me from the afternoon. In fact, when Kiran's flight was running late from Mumbai and she called me up and said, she texted me in the morning and said that I might be late in coming to the court, that I'll reach for the event on time. So I invited both of them to come and visit the court and see the courtroom. So when Aamir ji came to the court, I said, well, I don't want to cause a stampede in the court, but I welcome Mr. Aamir Khan in our midst. I must tell you all that years ago, when I was a young judge of the Bombay High Court, I was participating in an intellectual property seminar, and Mr. Aamir Khan came and participated and spoke at the seminar. And he came, he was in his blue jeans, a white shirt, and he came and joined us in the audience. And he said that, well, I feel a little out of place being with the judges and lawyers over here. But he spoke from his heart, and what he said was so profound on the challenges which confront filmmakers and film producers in today's age of technology. So it's been a very interesting first meeting with him. Then there was a follow-up. I received a call one afternoon and from a common friend, and he said, Mr. Aamir Khan would like to invite you and Kalpana for dinner at his home. Now, on that particular day, we were both sharing a little sofa in our living room. The reason we were both down with malaria. And we couldn't make it for the dinner, and then that moment just passed. And I thought I must say this because I want to tell you both that I hope we don't allow this moment to pass, and I hope that this will be we're building on a friendship which will continue for forever. And it's been a true honor to receive both of you. The purpose of really exhibiting this particular film is that we are celebrating the 75th year of the establishment of the Supreme Court. And among the themes which we have been showcasing is the theme of gender equality, which is very close to my heart. And I thought that this is a film, Kalpana saw the film, and then she said, you have to see the film, and then our staff at home saw the film. And for all of them, this film had such an air of truth about it, about the lives which they have seen in the villages, particularly when that scene, the initial scene, it said that when you have this ghungat, what do you see? You only see the shoes in front of you. You don't see anything else. So this is a film in layers. And in so many ways, it reflects the multi-layered personality of India and our society. So we really enjoyed seeing it. And I was just telling them a short while ago that when you see a film for a second time, as I did, you feel that you've seen so much more in the film that you see the first time, which is what I felt when I was seeing the film. Now, I'm not going to take much time. I'm going to hand over the mic to Kiran and then to Aamir. And they've been very keen that we should have a few questions and some insights from the audience as well. So I'll first give the mic.
Thank you, sir. It's been an incredible afternoon, one that I couldn't believe because I was watching the proceedings inside the Supreme Court with the Chief Justice of India. It was a dream come true for me, honestly. It's a great honor for me to be here, for me to be showing my film to such an honorable audience. And I honestly, feel so happy that the film has actually reached out to a very varied audience. As Sir was saying earlier, his staff connected with the film in a way where they felt their lives in some way reflected in the film, and many of the incidents that they saw in the film, they had actually experienced. But that's hopefully the power of cinema is that it speaks to people who haven't had that experience. And as a woman, I can sort of attest to the fact that a lot of us have a very universal experience. Doesn't matter which strata of society we come from. Especially after I became a mother, I realized actually what mothers go through, because almost always after marriage and especially after having children, women tend to put themselves last in a sort of list of priorities, and often forget their dreams, their ambitions, their talents, as you see with Poonam in the film, the Bhabhi, who starts drawing again. So yes, I just want to dedicate this really wonderful screening to all the women here and all the mothers, all our mothers collectively. Because without them, we wouldn't have a nation, honestly. Because it's on their sacrifices that we've all been able to build our lives. So thank you for having us. We'd really be excited and happy to tell you about, take questions and tell you about the process of making this film and other films, but first Aamir.
It's such a pleasure to be here. I was so happy, when Sir contacted Kiran and me and said that they would like to invite us. I was really thrilled. It's a very big honor, of course, and I also feel it's a great initiative that you have started, that Supreme Court has started. You'll have the opportunity to interact with creative minds each time you screen a film, and I think it'll be a very interesting give and take. So I'm very glad that you have started this, and thank you so much. It was a very unique experience being here today with all of you, sitting in the Supreme Court. I was quite awestruck by the proceedings, and I was really impressed in the way that Sir was handling everything in such a calm manner, and it was really wonderful to see. So thank you so much, Sir, for inviting us, and we're so happy that all of you have come to watch this film. It's a film that is very close to our hearts, and we're really happy to take any questions and have a conversation about the film with you all. So please feel free to just raise your hand and you can yes sir.
Mr. Perfectionist, and your name suggests that you are Mr. Aamir, means rich. You are rich in depiction of thoughts and other things for the benefit of the masses. And madam, your name is Madam Kiran. Kiran means ray of hope. Really, all these things are happening. So really, we are thankful to you. Ultimately, we can say आप ईटी और न्याय तीनों दृष्टियों से आपका ये प्रयोग हम सबके लिए प्रभावित है।
Thank you.
Justice Prasanna had a question which he has whispered to me.
Yes, of course.
थैंक यू सर। सर, बस मैं थोड़ा सा आमिर जी के दूसरे पहलू के बारे में आप सबसे बात करना चाहूँगा। अभी तो हमने ये बहुत सुंदर कलाकृति देखी है और हमको एक बहुत अच्छे अभिनेता, निर्माता, निर्देशक के रूप में जानते हैं, लेकिन किरण जी और आमिर जी ने पानी फाउंडेशन के माध्यम से महाराष्ट्र में जो जल अभियान शुरू किया और उस मुहिम को किस तरीके से आगे बढ़ाया, मैं उससे उन दोनों को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ। मैं भी महाराष्ट्र में कई साल था और महाराष्ट्र के कुछ जिले जो हमेशा सूखाग्रस्त माने जाते थे, खासकर बीड जिला और धुलिया और नंदुरबार, जहाँ पानी फाउंडेशन का जल अभियान इतना अच्छा कामयाब हुआ कि मुझे मालूम है कि दो क्षेत्र पाटोदा और कुंभे पर कई साल सूखाग्रस्त थे, पानी की बड़ी गंभीर समस्या से जूझ रहे थे, लेकिन पानी अभियान ने जो जादू कर दिया उसे हमेशा की राहत उन कस्बों को मिली। उसलिए भी मैं आपका धन्यवाद करता हूं और चाहूंगा कि अगर थोड़ा आप इस अभियान के बारे में, अपने अनुभव के बारे में कुछ बताएं।
बहुत शुक्रिया। दरअसल आप लोगों ने टेलीविजन पे शायद देखा होगा, हम लोग शो करते थे सत्य में, और वो 4 साल चला, करीबन 3 सीजन हुए थे उसके, तो 24 टॉपिक्स हमने पिकअप किए थे। उसके बाद जो मेरे दोस्त हैं सत्यजीत भटकल, जिन्होंने डायरेक्ट किया था सत्य में विजय थे, वो मेरे साथ स्कूल से हम लोग साथ में, तो उनकी और मेरी बातचीत हुई और हमको लगा कि हम जो कर रहे हैं वो बहुत जरूरी काम कर रहे हैं, बहुत अहम काम कर रहे हैं, उसका बहुत गहरा असर हो रहा है जमीनी स्तर पे। और लेकिन अगर हम एक विषय को लेके सिर्फ उसके साथ ही रहे, दूसरे टॉपिक पर ना जाए, तो हमको लगा कि शायद हमारा योगदान बेहतर हो सकता है, we'll be able to contribute a lot more. तो इस वजह से हमने पानी फाउंडेशन शुरू किया. किरण और मैंने, we are the promoters of पानी फाउंडेशन. And the idea when we started पानी फाउंडेशन was to bring relief to villages जहाँ पर सूखा ग्रस्त जो एरिया है, by teaching them watershed management techniques. तो ये तरीका ऐसा था कि जिसमें कि हम एम्पावर कर रहे थे विलेजर्स को with knowledge and with expertise and with encouragement, और अपने गांव का प्रॉब्लम वो खुद सॉल्व कर रहे थे. तो एक्चुअली हमारे लोग वहां नहीं गए, हमने उनको पैसे नहीं दिए, ना हमने मशीन दी, हमने उनको नॉलेज दिया और हम उनके साथ खड़े रहे. बिकॉज वी जेन्युइनली बिलीव दैट सॉल्यूशंस फॉर एनी टॉपिक हैज टू कम फ्रॉम अस, ईच वन ऑफ अस. वी कैन नॉट एक्सपेक्ट कि कोई आके हमको हेल्प करेगा, बाहर से कोई हमारी हेल्प करेगा. सो द इमोशन दैट वी ट्राइंग टू इवोक, कि अगर समस्या मेरी है तो मैं ही सॉल्व करूंगा, मैं और किसी को सॉल्व करने दूंगा नहीं. Emotionally, you know, it's you should own your challenges and you should be able to solve them. So with that spirit in mind, I think we started. और अब हम एग्रीकल्चर में काफी इन्वॉल्व होते जा रहे हैं. पहले हमने पानी से शुरू किया, लेकिन उसके बाद जैसे जैसे हमको जानकारियां मिली, अंडरस्टैंडिंग बढ़ी कि फार्मर्स की क्या इश्यूज हैं. सॉइल हेल्थ इज अ बिग इशू, साइज ऑफ होती है तो ठीक से खेती नहीं कर पाते. तो ऐसे कई दिक्कतें आती हैं महाराष्ट्र में. तो उसके साथ हम हर साल में हम एक्चुअली थोड़ा ज्यादा इन्वॉल्व हो इन एग्रीकल्चर एंड इट्स अ वंडरफुल लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस.
I had a question for Kiran. When you were thinking about this film, and just a short while ago, she was sharing with us that a large part of this film was shot during the third wave of COVID, and so many of her crew and people who were associated were down with COVID, and finally she got COVID while shooting this film. And what was the idea? I mean, how did you develop the theme of this film? We'd love to hear from you about this. I mean, what was the driving force for you to envision this film and create it and craft it and create it into a dry story into such a visually appealing presentation. And the second thing, so I want to ask you a second question separately, is that both of you work with so many people, younger people, and obviously you inspire so many people with the work which you do and the way you cooperate with them, with the technical aspects of your art and science. Do you think that it's important that you also mentor people who work around you, and how do you do that actually in your day-to-day work?
So yes, the making of this film has a very interesting actually backstory and journey. It goes back to 2018 when Aamir was actually on the jury of a screenwriting competition which was organized by SWA and Mahindra's. There were submissions by writers from across the country, and he was one of 3 judges along with Raju Hirani and Anjum Rajabali and Juhi Chaturvedi and Raju. Yeah. And one day he came home and said, I read an amazing script. You have to hear the story. The story is these 2 brides, it's a shadi season, 2 brides wearing gungats get onto a train. This couple get off the train, he goes home, they lift the gungat and it's another girl. And I said, and then? So he's like, yeah, see, superb story. So actually it was a fantastic premise. The original story was written by a writer called Biplab Goswami, wonderful writer, and he had actually written it fairly realistically. It was in a more sort of drama, realism sort of tone. And he, he won the second prize as a matter of fact at that competition. And after which I told Aamir I'd be delighted if I could direct this. And we set about getting the rights from him. We got the rights in about 2000. But actually, once I read the story after Aamir, 2020. When I read the actual story, the script that had won, I felt that the story could do with a lot of humor. I wanted to make it into a comedy. And I felt a lot of the things that I wanted to talk about could quite easily be sort of woven into the plot and fabric of the film through characters, through incidents that happen. So we set about getting another writer on, and I remember at that point I went to Aamir saying, "Okay, I'm beginning to write this. What should I do?" And Aamir just said, "Don't stop until you're happy with it. Just get it. Do it to the point that you're happy." So we got on a writer called Sneha Desai, a wonderful writer. She is a theatre writer, Gujarati theatre writer, and she writes a lot for television. In fact, she writes some of the biggest TV shows, #1 rated TV shows even now. And she came on, and bang, in the middle of COVID, we started writing in 2020 via Zoom. So there were lots of sort of plot ideas flying back and forth on the internet. And by 2021, we had a draft that we narrated to Aamir, and then we thought we'd get on another writer. So we brought on a writer called Divyanidhi Sharma. So to make a long story short, a lot of great writers went into the writing of this because we wanted the flavor of sort of central North India. So we kind of Bhojpuri-ized it. Didn't want to make it full Bhojpuri, but we didn't, So the humor, all of that we wanted to bring in. And then came the second wave, so we couldn't do very much then. So we finally got around to shooting in January of 2022. And it so happened that we had just finished second wave, everything felt like it had started. We decided we'll start shooting the trains in we were shooting in near Nashik, staying in Shirdi. And, we had the toughest stuff lined up first. And one after the other, all kinds of people started getting COVID. My DOP got COVID, and my actors, actually the Pradeep that you see in this film was never originally cast to be Pradeep. Gunjan, the young boy, also the friend, also came in because of COVID casting. The film has had a sort of a longish journey. We finished shooting it in 22 March. And since then have been editing, and then it's had, we weren't sure because the cinema industry, the business has changed so much. A lot of people advised Aamir that, go straight to OTT. This is not the kind of film that you want to release in cinemas because it has no stars, it has no glamour, but the audiences have given it so much love that I'm so glad we took the punt and went for cinema. And about mentors, yes, we'd love to take on mentors.
Well, actually, this film, in a sense, I was telling sir that during COVID, बहुत फ्री टाइम मिला हम लोगों को, बैठ के सोचते रहता था मैं. तो मैंने एक दिन सोचा कि यार मेरा करियर तो अभी आखिर में आ रहा है. आई एम अबाउट 59 नाउ. ये बात है व्हेन आई वाज 56, 2-3 साल पहले की बात है. तो आई सेड आई हैव अनदर 15 years till 70 I'll work actively. उसके बाद कहाँ मतलब जिंदगी किसने देखी. तो वो जब मैं सोच रहा था तो मुझे ये माइंड में आई बात कि मैं जब काम करता हूँ तो 3 साल में मेरी एक फिल्म आती है.
One of my favorite films is Sarfarosh. Has everybody seen it? Let me tell you about a particular scene which interested me very much. ACP Rathod, behind a wall with his colleague, they planned that they would be throwing on the floor 2 pistols, one loaded and the other unloaded. They plan it in such a way that the loaded pistol is picked up by Mr. Nasiruddin Shah and the unloaded one is picked up by the Pakistani diplomat. And Nasiruddin Shah fires, he also fires, but it doesn't fire because it's not loaded. And in the process, their plan is succeeding because a diplomat cannot be touched by the police, Indian police, but the entire blame shifts to Mr. Nasiruddin Shah. Right? So went behind this fantastic storyline.
Actually, this climax, there was a book that Prahlad had given me to read. It was about the Japanese mafia and something about a brother and sister, twins. Totally अलग कहानी थी, totally अलग कहानी थी. लेकिन उसका जो क्लाइमैक्स था ना, वो इसी टाइप का था कि जो लीड कैरेक्टर है वो ऐसा पैतरा करता है and he emotionally he makes those two people fight. तो उसका काम भी हो जाता है, in that sense. So it's a very well thought out that story of the climax. You're absolutely right. It's a very fascinating approach. Yeah.
I never knew this that diplomat can't be.
They can't touch him. They have to let him.
I have a simple question, but before that, and Kalpana ji for organizing this. What is significant is, I've been here 36 years now, but never has the administrative side and the judicial side sat together and watched something, because we are one.
Possessed by what is the process? There is no office going in the morning and coming back in the evening. So, is it a 24-hour affair? Is it a lot of thinking? Or, we know about our case preparation, but we only know it as a glitzy, glamorous field. But what really goes behind?
Actually, sir, like every other profession, you can. It's up to you how much you want to dig out of something. आप उस potential का, how much do you exploit the potential of any material? How much do you use it to its fullest? It's up to each one of us, and each one of us, does it in our own way. But filmmaking is, as you rightly point out, is a very tough job. हम लोग, आपने ये ऑफिस की बात कही, तो जब हम शूटिंग कर रहे होते हैं, तो लोग कभी रोड पे शूटिंग कर रहे हैं, कहीं किसी पब्लिक जगह पे शूटिंग कर रहे हैं, तो लोग जाहिर है फोटो लेने आते हैं, ऑटोग्राफ लेने आते हैं, और वो बड़े एक्साइट हो जाते हैं, और हम भी समझते हैं कि उनके लिए भी ये खास मोमेंट है, हम भी खुश होते हैं. लेकिन अगर मैं उस वक्त ऑटोग्राफ साइन करना शुरू करूं, तो दिन भर हमारी शूटिंग नहीं होगी. तो उस वक्त मेरा समझाना लोगों को कि मैं एक्चुअली ऑफिस में बैठा हूं, आपको सड़क लग रही है, वो चौराहे पे हम शूटिंग कर रहे हैं, आपको लग रहा है ये चौराहे पे बैठा है, चाय पी रहा है, आपको ऑटोग्राफ भी नहीं दे रहा है. एक्चुअली वो मेरा ऑफिस है, because that's where we work. We are working anywhere and everywhere, and we require to focus. We require to so it is a tough job, but it's a very fulfilling job. Creative work is a very fulfilling job, and there is no end to it. It's up to you how much you want to play with it. There is no end to it really. So it's a very I've blessed in many ways that हमको एक मौका मिला है एक ऐसे फील्ड में काम करने का जिसमें हमें मजा नहीं आता. मुझे तो लगता है मैं खेल रहा हूँ रोज. आई डोंट फील कि मैं काम कर रहा हूँ. मेरे लिए तो बड़ा एक्साइटिंग है. तो मैं एक्चुअली बल्कि मैंने अपने लाइफ में काफी तब्दीलियां लाई. एक वक्त में तो मैं 24 घंटे काम करता था, 16 घंटे. किरण जी ने जो एक्सपीरियंस किया हुआ काम में इतना खोया रहता था कि मेरे करीबन 30-35 साल निकल गए उसी पागलपन में, उसी नशे में. कैरेक्टर्स, कहानियां, मोमेंट्स. तो अब जाके पिछले 2-3 सालों में मैंने अपने लाइफ में बैलेंस लाने की कोशिश की कि मैं काम भी करूं, अपने परिवार के साथ भी रहूं. तो ये एक बड़ा चेंज रहा है सर माय लाइफ. आई यूज्ड टू बी सच अ वर्कहॉलिक, एंड वन डे किरण केम टू एंड किरण सेड टू मी कि हम लोग बैठे थे जो अपना फ्रीडम है, टू मेरा चेंजिंग रूम था. किरण आई और उन्होंने कहा कि अब मैं समझ गई हूँ. हम लोग बैठ के बातें कर रहे थे. किरण ने कहा कि अब मैं समझ गई हूँ आप हमें इंडस्ट्री नहीं. क्यों आप ऐसे क्यों बोल रही? नहीं, आप हमारे साथ हो ही नहीं. आपका जो माइंड है वो कहीं और है. आप मुझे देख रहे हो लेकिन आप यहाँ हो नहीं. आपका जहन कहीं और ही दौड़ रहा है. और ये मैं पिछले 10 साल से देख रही हूँ क्योंकि मैं आपकी पत्नी हूँ और मैं देख रहा हूँ आप भी ऐसी फील करते हो. तो फिर I think maybe we are on the same page then, sir. But I was very fascinated because Kiran said a very loving thing. I don't know if you remember this. Kiran ने कहा कि आप इंटरेस्टेड ही नहीं हो हमें, अभी मेरे लिए श्योर हो गया कि आप इंटरेस्टेड नहीं हो, क्योंकि आपका ध्यान रहता नहीं है. आप मुझे हर रोज कहते हो कि अम्मी के साथ मुझे मिलना है, अम्मी से मैं मिल नहीं पाता. 2 फ्लोर्स ऊपर रहती हैं आपसे, आपको कौन रोकता है अम्मी को जाकर मिलने के लिए?
Am I audible? So, sir, before I start off my question, I would really like to say, because my mother will not forgive me if I don't. We're all very big fans of both you and Kiran in our family, and your movies have given us a lot of hope and happiness. So thank you for that. Then moving on to the question, so cinema has a great role in shaping societal culture in general, right? In that sense, once art is in public, it obviously belongs to the public. But at the same time, as filmmakers, you as the producer, man, as the director, you would have some sort of thoughts about what kind of an impact a movie would make when you're envisaging the film, right? So for this particular film, would love to know what your thoughts were for this particular film as to what kind of impact and the extent of impact it would have on society in general.
Thank you. You want to take that? तो एक्चुअली आई थिंक दैट जब हम लोग ने ये जब कहानी हम लोग दोनों ने पढ़ी और सुनी तो हमको बहुत पसंद आई, एंड वी रियली फेल्ट दैट दिस इज अ फिल्म दैट कैन सेंसिटाइज. मतलब हम लोग बहुत सारे लोगों को हिंदुस्तान में संवेदनशील बना सकते हैं जेंडर इश्यूज पे, और इसमें काफी एंटरटेनिंग वे में वो चीज आ रही है, एंड इट टचेस योर हार्ट. सो यू नो रियली, सो आई रियली फील कि दिस फिल्म और अ फिल्म लाइक तारे ज़मीन पर और अ फिल्म लाइक दंगल, ये जो फिल्में हैं इनका बहुत गहरा असर होता है, और ये असर रिपीटेडली होता है. जो अभी हमने पहले रिलीज में देखा है, यू नो इट हैज रिलीज लास्ट कपल ऑफ मंथ्स, पीपल हैव बीन वाचिंग द फिल्म, आज हम लोग भी देख रहे हैं, लेकिन कुछ साल बाद भी ये फिल्म दोबारा देखी जाएगी लोगों से, एंड यू नो इट विल हैव अ कंटिन्यूअस इम्पैक्ट. आज तक मुझे लोग बोलते हैं कि हम तारे ज़मीन पर हर साल देखते हैं, वो जब बच्चों का स्कूल शुरू होता है हम एक दफा देख लेते हैं जून में, यू नो. सो इट हैज यू आर एब्सोल्युटली राइट. आई थिंक व्हाट वी expected from this film, from the audience के audience का क्या response रहेगा इस film के लिए, वो exactly वैसा ही आया. So we were really thrilled with the kind of connect that the film managed to get with the audience, and the way the audience has received it has really made us happy.
Absolutely, we've been delighted with the response and how the audience has sort of made a place for this film in their hearts. Everywhere I go, you know, people have always come up to me and said hello and things, but now I literally see hearts in people's eyes when they look at me. You know, there's with so much fondness. So the film, I feel, has touched a lot of people. I'm so grateful for that. But I think more than anything, the films that we've been fortunate to make are important because they start conversations, you know, about things that aren't necessarily going to maybe immediately change your perspective on something. They begin to shift a perspective a little bit, and I think that's the power of cinema. You can never make cinema for change, because actually change is slow in coming, but we can slowly, you know, push the needle in the direction that we wanted to go. And I think that was our sort of humble attempt with this film, is to talk about a lot of things, but not say them explicitly, you know, address maybe things that, like Sir said, you know, we try to layer in details that you'll even catch the next time around, the third time you watch it, so that it stays a conversation and it stays relevant, and people are, you know, hopefully in due course in time we'll all be sensitized, or, you know, in general this becomes the norm. So that's the hope.
Well, as we draw to a close on this evening's event, I'm reminded of a bust of Chief Justice Chandra, which was just outside the court of the Chief Justice, and it says something to this effect that, you know, a great judge, a great lawyer, a great citizen, but above all, a great human being. And I'm really, it's no exaggeration at all, and I think the countless people who admire you, of course, for the excellence of your craft, of your ingenuity, of your creativity, but the fact that you are both so down to earth and you are such compassionate human beings, that you are so rooted and that you are such good human beings. I think that above all marks you both out as Indians who we are really proud to associate with and look up to. And another thing which I think wouldn't have been missed to everyone is that you've both made such determined effort to share the blessings of life which you have received with others, which has been part of my own philosophy of life as well, which is it's so important that we share the blessings which we have received from friends, from peers, from mentors. And that's how we really complete the circle of life. And it's been truly a great honor and privilege for all of us to share this afternoon and evening with you. And we'll be looking for many, many more accolades. But above all, we all join together in wishing you good health, happiness, fulfillment, and more success in whatever you do. Thank you very much.